That's three.
All right, call to order, roll call.
Mayor Carroll, Commissioner Gill,
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez, here, Chairman Landers,
Here.
Commissioner McGee,
Here.
Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor, Councilmember Blevins,
Here.
Commissioner Wilhoit.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum with, 7 members present to that.
All right. Approval of the agenda. We'll look that over and we're satisfied with that.
And
We do have one item, I think you want a deferral.
there are a couple of changes, if I may. So the first item on the planning commission decision on agenda item C, the applicant did request a deferral of that, and one of two things can happen, depending on which way the commission would like. We can withdraw or remove it from the agenda, and then it'll come back whenever they resolve some of the issues on there. Or the other way is to defer the item, and then we'll just have to keep track of the time period.
I talked to Tom before the meeting on this. He sent all of us an email with a list of issues that this project has. And these issues are not like 30, 60-day issues. Some of these could be like 1 or 2 year issues. So I don't want to leave this hanging out there like the other project that we know has been out there for 2 years on indefinite deferral. I'd like to set some kind of I'm willing to go like 2 or 3 meeting deferral, but I don't want to come back in a year and a half and being grandfathered into old,
Well, we'll take them because
And
they
that
have
is-
a moratorium on the
Yes.
wastewater and there's several issues.
And that's why one of the ways is to just to withdraw the application altogether, and then if they don't come back, well, they're going to have to come back with a redesign regardless. But if it doesn't come back, then they can certainly reapply. That would be what would have to happen.
Maybe it's best for some.
But it's,
So Tom, are you willing to withdraw the application?
they have only requested deferring it. They sent in an email today that they would like to defer it.
Well, then we could put a timeline of 30 days on that deferral. That way we can get an answer by then, if not before.
Sure.
And then they can withdraw if they're not ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't we need to do that in a vote?
Well, we would have to
will,
do that
we will.
when the time
Yes.
comes
When it
around.
gets around.
And then the second item is agenda item J. If we could relocate that one down to administrative level, item E. And the reason is that 133 Baker Street, typically whenever there's a subdivision, regardless of how many lots, public infrastructure, if it has to be extended, requires planning commission approval, becomes a major subdivision item. And in this case, there was just confusion over the location of a fire hydrant. The hydrant actually is within 500 feet, which is the minimum requirement. And it's within 500 feet for both lots. So it actually does have the necessary coverage for fire protection. So we can do that as an administrative approval.
So really, that's the only change to the agenda is moving J and then down to
2E. I didn't want to change the letters around.
admin E, and then the commission can vote on C when it gets there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended by Director Tom. Second.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes from August the 28th of 2025.
Mr. Chairman, if I could request that those be deferred to next month, I did not get them completely checked.
All right. Entertain a motion to accept
I'll make
that.
a motion to defer this.
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This time we'll have scheduled comments.
Looks like good.
All right. Being there's no old business, we're moving right on into new business. Rezoning portion of split zone parcel 804 East Depot Street, tax map 89G, GRP, K, partial 9.01, The owners are representing themselves, requesting a favorable recommendation of the planning commission, the city council, for the rezoning of approximately 0.4 acres remaining, R3, medium density residential portion of the split zone partial to C2 general business for the purpose of removing any residential zone portion and making a cohesive commercial zone partial for future development. The parcel is located in the Spears subdivision and is classified in the future land use map, Depot Street character area.
Okay, so as we can see on the screen here, 804 East Depot Street, there's a portion back here, and this R3 zone here, this residential zone, has been like that since before, probably on or before 2009. This front section is C2 zone district. This is in the Depot Street corridor area and commercial fronting on a major collector, which is what East Depot Street is desired. It met all the, it's very consistent with the map, with our future land use plan, or map and comprehensive plan. As you can see in this old photograph, it's always been a vacant parcel. Here's the 2009 edition that shows that same split zoning. Surrounding neighborhood, you've got this property here is also split zone, and but this is a commercial land use. You've got some residential around there, but the commercial fits neatly within there. It cleans up that split zoning. And the owner has already started to provide screening around it by adding a tall fence around the residential area. But in essence, it meets all of our, I guess it's a good project to clean up, I should say.
Okay. Comments, questions? Motion.
I'll make a motion to send a favorable recommendation to city council. That's a good cleanup that's needed.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Commissioner Gill,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Mower,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit.
All right, B, rezoning 103 Moreland Street, tax map 690, GRPD partial 4. John K. Asher Branner, owner, C&L Properties and Investments, representing or requesting a favorable recommendation of the Planning Commission to the City Council for the rezoning of approximately 0.92 acres of the parcel currently zoned R2, medium density, low density residential, to R4, high density residential, for the purpose of developing a high density residential dwelling land use located in the Robinson Farm subdivision. Parcel is currently a single family land use and classified in the future land use map as North Main Street corridor character area.
Okay, and for orientation, this is the Dos Bros UPS, those stores within that development. And this property is located directly behind in the Robinson subdivision, which was recorded back in 1945. Let me just go back to this. Let's see, there's the North Main Street corridor area I highlighted in red, and it's more detailed in our staff report. The appropriate zoning is C2, or commercial, I should say, commercial mixed PUD on an arterial or collector. It doesn't, there's nothing in there about directly behind it. But I did comment in red here that it's silent on the individual parcel, but it is functioning similar to a mixed PUD. However, some of the challenges to rezoning to an R4 and allowing for the multifamily in our policy guide of our comprehensive plan, there's discussion a lot about connectivity and how to develop that for greater connectivity, especially pedestrian. And so the barrier is created actually on both sides, from the city side as well as inherently within the application for it, because during site development, we can only request so much from the developer to incorporate any type of sidewalks and things like that. Because if you, actually, I'll go back to there are no sidewalks anywhere along here, which would then require people to actually walk on the street. I mean, it's a good idea for residential to be, or these commercial businesses to be supported by residential. But without any sidewalks, and then the city doesn't have any programs in place where they would construct sidewalks for that in order to allow for that connection. But as far as all the other policy guides, it's, let me see if I actually, no, okay, this might be a good one. This is where the R4 is. This is commercial here on the, located to the south. You have commercial to the east. The remaining portion are single-family development, or single-family houses surrounding it across the street, as well as to the west. And if developed as a R4, it is required to have buffering. And during my initial comments, I did request the applicant to provide a little bit more detail that might help visualize how that might look, the buffering around it. But as I said, there's some complications, I would say, barriers to maybe a favorable recommendation, and a lot of it has to do with just our policy guides for creating a little bit more connectivity within that district.
I've got at least two big barriers for me. One of our criteria normally is we try to avoid spot zoning. It's in there very clearly. If you looked up spot zoning in a dictionary and you zone this R4, you can put that in there as the illustration. There's no R4 in that area.
Sure.
And the second is, I know it's a guide, but the future land use map clearly says C2, C3, commercial mixed use PUD. This is not any of the three recommended in this character.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And
And there's smaller things like I drive on this street 6-8 times a week. This street is already too narrow for the traffic it's carrying because of what we've done with the commercial at the end. It's become a major cut through.
Sure.
And it's not wide enough for the traffic it already has.
Yeah, and that's why in my, in the staff report, as far as the findings go, I didn't actually put a recommendation or anything in there, specifically because of, it doesn't speak to doing the higher density behind it. It talks about mixed-use PUDs, and it talks about the higher density of R4, which this doesn't necessarily classify as that type. Functionally,
The way that it connects to the south there with the commercial on, well, basically two sides, it seemed to me that, beside the issue of the road being widened, I mean, I think in the future that would be more of a commercial type area, it seems to me. And we all know that road needs, widened, regardless if it's high density residential or commercial. It's already has maximum impact.
If you're looking at increasing pedestrian in that intersection in and of itself, is a Walmart right across the street? So you're increasing pedestrian walking in an area where there's no sidewalks. And we're just promoting that activity by putting R4 there.
yes, and that was one of the things that I noted as well, is that, there is no, there's no connection for pedestrians across here as well as along here. I tried to find out a little bit of the history of why there was none proposed here, and it could have been because it's a thin, it's a narrow road there, as well as this development here. It has internal sidewalks, but there's something across the street. There was no improvements of even just this section. And, and it just might have been something that was not, it was missed or maybe it was unfeasible because you've got such a narrow area, but I don't know. No one seemed to have a good answer for it, so.
Yeah, I just feel like we're opening up can of worms if you increase the residential in that area. And we really need a four-way connector, sidewalk, pedestrian, like all that. The more people that are there, the more you're gonna chance, everyone's gonna walk across the highway to get to Walmart. You're gonna have accidents left and right.
Yes, and there's a lot of times you see where, maybe rezonings are not, I just call them ripe for rezoning.
It's not right.
Because we don't have, maybe at some point we'll have some type of program, a capital improvement program that allows for the city to actually install sidewalks and crosswalks and things like that, but we just don't have something like that now. So.
Well, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for an unfavorable recommendation to the council.
Second.
Motion made and seconded for an unfavorable recommendation. So if you want to do this, you will vote yes. All right, roll call.
Commissioner Wilhoit?
Yeah.
Commissioner Taylor, here. Councilmember Blevins?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yeah.
Commissioner McGee?
Yes.
Chairman Landers?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gill?
Yes.
Pass, and we'll go to the council with an unfavorable recommendation.
All right, now we're moving into the multifamily townhome that we were talking about earlier. Ginger, correct me if I'm wrong, would you defer this for 30 days, but if they do not come back in 30,
I think it needs to be on the agenda 30 days from now, and you make your decision at that point. They're not here tonight, are they?
I don't know, but in our bylaws, if the first request can be deferred, the second time they have to be present in order to make the request for the deferral. So it'll be, if it's deferred for 30 days until the next month's agenda, then it'll be placed on that agenda, but they will have to come in order to, if they need
Well,
to.
I think addressing Councilman Levy's comments, to keep this thing from just going on and on and on. If they come back and request again, might be something different. But,
If we want a motion, I'll make a motion for 30 days.
Second.
okay. Motion's made to defer for 30 days and second, roll call.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit?
Yes.
Commissioner Gill?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Landers?
Yes.
Commissioner McGee?
Yes.
All right, D, multifamily townhome apartments, 812 Belmont Avenue, tax map 89J GRP L, partial 17. Lee and Kay Adcock owners, St. John Engineering LLC is representative, requesting approval of a 6 two-story townhome apartment units on approximately 0.45 acres. Currently zoned R4, high-density residential townhome units are 2 stories with dwelling density of 6 DU/AC, classified in the future land map as Belmont corridor character area.
Okay. I will say that this one was, we saw the rezoning application earlier this year, which rezoned to R4, as well as the removal from the Belmont Historic District. So we have the R4 density, the Belmont Avenue character area in our comprehensive plan. It's inconsistent between the R4 as well as, for higher density residential. But you'll see that there's higher density residential. This one's been here since 1985. This one was 2021. And as far as the zoning goes, these are R4 across the street around here, and then this particular parcel. Don't tell me it's not working again. We had this at BZA, that's why I wasn't. Oh, hey, there it goes. All right. Okay, that just push some buttons there. Um, uh, Based on the review, most of the staff items were addressed. There were a couple of items that are minor in scope, but Nathan's here to clean up for us. Maximum height of the building not to exceed the 45 feet. It just wasn't shown on the building. And visualize, looking at the buildings, it doesn't appear to be so. The other thing that I noticed that the active open space, the area, I did the calculation by measuring the document to come up with it. But, this is an item that the applicant really should apply for. So those are the conditions we're recommending, that they're meeting all the requirements. And actually, on one of the other conditions, I did put it in there. In the architectural, and you'll see it in the presentation as well as in the staff report, that they might want to consider additional distinction to the unit facades. We made changes in our design standards recently that when you have multiple units that they should have distinctive facades. And it could be done not just with material, but also with color. So this is the Belmont character area, and you see it's pretty large area. This is inconsistent with the comprehensive plan. Compatibility, there's, this one's not showing it, but this is R4. You have the R4, the 1985 higher density residential here, and then you have the one across the street, and then just located to the southwest there. As far as all the standards are meeting, you can see this is the side, what they're providing for, and they're either meeting or exceeding the requirements for multifamily use. Let's see, so you have 6 units along here. Here's Belmont, and then they're utilizing access in here. There were requirements for extending infrastructure, which they have done. They've recorded easements for that, as you can see in this photograph. So they've got easements running southwest. This was their open space plan, and for my calculation, I mean, I just measured the area and came up with it, but it's this was just a conservative 21%. You can see that they've got all their landscaping surrounding the building and the parking lot, which is consistent with the design standard. And so in the materials, textures, and colors, it'll be this section of multi-residential development. This is our updated standards from earlier this year. So you can see that multifamily residential consideration should be to maybe change the overall looks of it to make it more distinctive. But I will say that one of the things is that our design standards are forcing, a lot better quality multifamily. And so, each one is kind of a test case, a guinea pig, so to speak.
Tom, I have a question. As you mentioned in December, I think we went over this. So when this came back to the agenda, I looked back at the minutes there, and there was a comment in there that
about the 3.
Yeah, about the 3, and that it says that the lot will only support 3 units without improvements and 4 units with improvements to the sewer. I think that's what we were talking about.
Yes.
Can you address that comment on what's changed in between then and now?
Yes, what's changed, and I think this is foreseen by Commissioner Gonzalez about the higher density, is that the way that they ran the infrastructure coming back here allowed for the higher density development. If 3 was already existing, so if you had the duplex from, I think, 1940s, and then the house from 1930s, that created the 3 existing as it is without any kind of improvements. And then the fourth improvement had to do with, and I don't recall off the top of my head, but it had to do with something about connecting back here, revising some of the sewer. I think it was sewer that was constraining it.
So was that, those are, proposed improvement, infrastructure improvements, or have they been completed?
These are proposed, what's been done is creating the easement back here as well as creating this easement accessing here. But I think, if I recall, you had mentioned that too, because it's tied with the area of the land. They could do it, the area of R4, 4.45 acres. I think it's, allows for 6.3 some units, and they're providing 6. They're proposing 6.
I'm going to speak on the same point. I mean, I'll be open with that. I feel like we were lied to. I mean, I've got both minutes. This was presented to the planning commission. It's 3 or 4 units. It was presented to the council January 2nd, the exact same wording for the size of the parcel. The most units that will fit will be 4. I mean, that was very clearly presented to us. We made a decision based on that number of units. If this had been presented to us as 6 units in December, some of us would have voted the other way.
Sure.
Can you go to the open space screen there real quick? I don't consider the sidewalk between where you park your car and the front door to be open space.
No,
It's highlighted as open space. They're right on, barely hitting the open space requirement, and they're using the sidewalk outside your front door, which is basically your front porch.
Yeah, this
And
this
part of their calculation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel
Yeah.
like this
The open
meets our
space is
standards.
supposed to be impervious, and that's gonna be sidewalk that's it's supposed to be pervious, and sidewalk in front of the building's gonna be impervious. And so, open space should be classified, or at least definite, if we don't have it defined, it needs to be defined as impervious. Pervious, sorry, a backwards day, dyslexic day today, but, the impervious land, you're covering a lot of the land, you're not gonna have a lot of natural runoff, and that's the whole purpose of well, not the whole purpose, but a good portion of the purpose. The other purpose is to provide areas for children to play and other amenities or something, but again, we keep getting all these little tit for tat developments that are not really considering where the children are gonna be outside, where the people are gonna play. You got a plain front, you got no definition, there's no interplay of the building, it's one big flat, right up against the parking lot, and no place for the children to play.
Well, I may disagree with you on that part of it, only because of and that's something that's,
Right.
But that is something that was discussed in the growth meeting as well,
Right.
because, we were discussing about, because, it's just, part of it is the limitations within our code.
Right.
Because the way that our code reads, it leaves all the requirements up to the developer, and on the PUD is a little bit more defined, but on these, on the R4 and R3A that we require the open space, it does not specify where that might be. Because as you saw in the Victory Park last month, they had it all along the borders. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that, because open space is also about preservation of existing trees and things like that.
And
Yes.
growth and.
Yes.
nature.
And so,
I mean, we've not even preserved a piece of grass on this part. This thing's going forever. Whereas there's not gonna be a tree that's standing.
But if the sewer's not accommodated, if there's not infrastructure well enough to handle 6, you're going back to sewer. Like, that's what was capped at last time, was because the infrastructure couldn't handle more than before.
yes, and I understand.
I can speak to that if you need me to.
Oh, yes, I didn't know you were here.
Yes,
Uh,
by all means.
Mr. Mayor and I, there was no way that I would bring anything here and lie to anybody. So apply to is, it's not a, I think ethical thing's probably the word for that, but, 6 units, we went from 2, duplexes to 2-story instead of single-story. So that allowed us to put additional units on there and it meet the guidelines.
So that's the,
Yeah, so that's the reason we went from 4 to 6, because we went to 2-story units. The issue with the sewer was John Freeman says, I can allow you to put 4 units on there with the existing sewer that existed. That wouldn't have worked even if we would have left it at 4 units because it was a 3-inch sewer line. Once we got over there, tore the building down, got to looking at how things run and routed, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't even work the way it was run. It ran and it came down between the Marsh property and it came down the Marsh property and went down White Street.
There was some creative plumbing there going on.
At the least.
And that's what we understood on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
get-go. And that makes more sense with.
Yeah, so John says, okay, you've got to upgrade that. You could go more than the 4 units. And I said, well, no problem. So I go to Miss Sanders and I go to Miss Marsh and I get an easement that goes all the way back to Walnut. I believe that's the name of the street.
yes,
And that is a 8-inch sewer back there. So we're taking a 6-inch sewer line that will take care of more than, it would even pick up Ginger's house there if we needed to. It would take more than the amount of sewer off of 6 units and tie it into a main, not just into an existing sewer. So I just wanted to explain that. It's not very.
So nobody in December knew that this property was capable of holding 6 units?
I didn't,
Okay.
personally did not.
from an infrastructure
From an
limitation.
But once we got into it and he explained to us the amount, I guess it's the square footage of.
It's the square footage of the parcel divided by
Right.
the, however much you can do for the family.
That's the reason why he got.
So we're tearing out the 3-inch and we're putting in a 6-inch to handle it. And it's going into a direct main
It's
versus,
a direct main or a manhole
Main.
that's back there, which is John elects.
Oh,
It's
okay.
showing, I think, just a T in the line at this point.
that makes better sense.
We're also taking all of the storm drain that comes off of that property, and we're routing it all the way back to the Walnut Street and releasing it out the back there after it goes through the retention pond area. So the retention pond, there was absolutely, I know you're not supposed to use that as green space, but
But there's ways of doing it, actually.
anyway, Ms. Lamar catches all of the water off of that side in the units that are directly the major to the, I guess that would be toward town. There's a major apartment complex, 2-story, by the way. And all of that water was coming down and running across the back of that property and down Ms. Lamar's driveways and just killing it. So now we've got it situated where it's not catching the lady that's directly behind the units and it's not going across the Lamar Sanders property. We're catching it and we're routing it all the way down to Walnut Street. So,
So the
Maybe.
easement is also going to be a catch basin, like a drainage basin, so it's not encroaching onto the surrounding properties?
I have an easement from Miss Lamar
You have an easement from Miss Lamar to use?
and from Ginger Mash to route the drainage and the sewer. It's a 10-foot wide easement.
Okay.
To route it all the way to Walnut Street. I don't have it.
That's what that long thing is.
I don't have it signed, but Joey Lambert has got approval today from the TI Tennessee folks. That's an ingress egress easement, and we're getting it a signed easement for it to be able to construct the line and to maintain the line once it gets installed.
So it'll be a permanent easement on their deeds here henceforth.
Yes, ma'am. We just don't have it in hand.
Mhm.
But we do have it. Was there any more questions about?
The road there, is that, there's the existing gravel kind of driveway that went back to that, is that?
That deed goes back to in the early 1900s, and I've got a copy of it out in the truck, but that
You talking
deed,
about this,
yes,
this coming back?
I guess that'll be the access, and then it'll pull into another, that's
into the parking lot.
into the parking lot there, so there will be no direct access off Belmont besides the.
Yeah, and it would be difficult to do that because, with that being a major collector, I believe.
Yeah.
Along there, that's T-Dot's right of way. You've got an existing one. They would, most likely require that versus, that was one of the staff comments as well as working with.
Yeah.
Getting that access set.
Yes.
The part that's hashed out, you said gravel, we're doing concrete.
Yeah,
That was one of the requirements from TI Tennessee.
Okay.
They wanted that 20 by 175 concrete area.
So it'll be a concrete then leading to a paved parking area or
Yes.
other concrete?
Yes.
Asphalt.
Okay. We've, I think we took a large eyesore in the community and have, we'll end up with a really good product there that's going to look nice, nicer than most anything around it. But,
Not that this affects this property, but in our PUD, which would like to bring over to these higher densities as well, is that you can use a stormwater facility if it's a bioretention area. And then that can be part of the active open space. You see a lot of it where.
Can we laser it on that one so the.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I can see
Yeah,
that.
so this is the retention area, and if it's a bioretention, it
Yeah.
can be used as a,
That's a great choice.
yeah, because you can put pathways over there.
Mhm. Is this what they're planning? Is this the elevation that they're
This is
planning?
what they're planning. Is there, yes, this one's accurate to their drawings.
Go over the conditions, if there are any,
Back up.
the three conditions in the chart.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, then, as far as the architectural part of it, you may want to add distinction to the unit facade, but, I would say the reason why I put it as that's desired, because I recognize that our design standards, is, I think of it as step process and step improvements. So as we see each type of development come about, we might want to improve it more.
Okay,
Yeah, I think the distinction would.
all right. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion well, I was about to make a recommendation, but I guess I'll make a motion to pass the site plan.
Motion made to approve. Do I have a second?
Yes.
I do have a second. Roll call.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee.
No.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
No.
Commissioner Wilhoit,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
You have 5 yeses and 2 noes, so it passes.
All right. E, site plan aircraft storage hangar, ship, Municipal Airport. tax map 50, parcel 23. St. John Engineering Representative Lee C. Craig Nelson and Paul Perry, owner representative, director of the Shelbyville Municipal Airport, are requesting the approval from the Planning Commission for a new 6,440 square foot airport hangar on a portion of an approximately 374 acre parcel zone I-1 light industrial and located at the Shelbyville Municipal Airport. Airport is classified in the future land map as the North Gateway Corridor character area.
Just for ease, these buildings are identical, and they're right next to each other, so I combined them into one presentation. But as far as the voting goes, if we could do those separately for each one. This section of, this portion of the airport actually has fire protection. I know in the report, I discussed some of the fire protection features from last month's, hangars further down here. But I confirmed with Paul Perry, the airport director, that there was already existing, and when I say fire protection, I'm talking about, hydrants that are located in that area. So this one, there was only the one condition is that, and it's related to all the utility work out there, that as long as we get the utility plans and infrastructure. But as far as the design, everything else, it meets our code. It's a hangar. And so, let's see. As you can see, they're directly, it's right. You can see these two set of buildings, that's where the hangars are going. Both of them are 6,440 square feet. The only, this is actually a post, before the permit is actually applied for. If you could just, Nathan, if you could just change one of them, there's duplicate Justin Brady. But as far as everything else, they're utilizing their stormwater facility. It's already existing on the site. This is reviewed by the engineer for the airport, which is Garber Engineering. And then there's no additional parking spaces except for the airport. This is the typical, it's just a metal building. I provided this, I looked it up to see what that might actually look like. But in essence, both of them are, they're giant parking lots for airplanes.
All right, any other questions?
That could have been your consumers.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Commissioner Wilhoit,
Yes.
Commissioner Deal,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Approved.
All right, site plan for an aircraft storage hangar, Shelbyville Municipal Airport, tax map 50, parcel 23. St. John Engineering representing the leasee, Justin Brady, Paul Perry, owner representative, director of the Shelbyville Municipal Airport, requesting approval of the planning commission for a new 6,440 square foot aircraft storage hangar on a portion of approximately 374 acre parcel, zone I-1 light industrial and located on Shelbyville Municipal Airport. Airport is classified as future land use map as North Gateway Corridor character area. You got it on there twice. I didn't know
Oh.
two of them.
Yes, because they were separate applications, but they are the same thing.
Same building there.
Yeah, yes.
I
Unless you really want me to talk some more, I can go through it.
That's the same deal.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit,
Yes.
Commissioner Deal,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
All right, site plan amendment for the Cooper Christian Academy, 1012 Madison Street, tax map 89F, Group G, parcel 17. Cooper Christian Academy owner and St. John Engineering representing requesting approval from the planning commission amending the previously approved site plan, but phasing development onto two phases. Parcel is 11.42 acres, currently zoned C2 general business, part of the Chancellor Square subdivision, and classified in the future land use map as a mixed density residential character area.
Okay, this is a site plan amendment. I think it was, sometime last year when the, Cooper Christian Academy came in for review. The owner would like to phase it into two portions. He's only constructing this part of it. This rear portion of it, he would like to phase. Anything you see in purple is being phased. So we're looking at parking area. We're looking at some of the parking back here as well as curbing. The asphalt would just basically terminate at the grass. And staff didn't have any issue with it because all the other requirements of the original approval, like the traffic study, traffic improvements, infrastructure, were all the same. And so some of these sidewalks on this side, there were some outdoor multi-purpose fields that are not being utilized at this time. So sometime in the future, they'll, Barry Cooper will, depending on the number of students coming in, will develop that section of it. But as far as the connections go, this one on Bethany, as well as on Madison, they'll be constructed in the first phase, as well as the stormwater.
Will the parking that they're actually constructing be sufficient enough to handle the large building itself? Without the extra parking at the rear? You know, the smaller buildings don't account for a lot of parking, but the main building, is there enough parking in there?
And here's a weakness within our code too that we're working on, is that the minimum requirement is 21. And it may be that during, after the development of the first phase of it, they might need more parking and have to construct that part of it. I don't know because I don't know how many teachers or employees that they're going to have.
So how many parking spots do they have at the front?
They had, let's see, 80, 90, 90 in both phases, and they're just splitting it in half relatively. Phase 1 will have 43, phase 2 will have 47.
I think the way Mr. Cooper explained this, and the reason he's doing this, he is growing a class a year.
Right.
Yes.
So this is going to be, he's going to the 8th grade, and they're only at 4th grade now. So this is a gradual thing, and he sees no use into building a whole big building, and it's just going to sit there empty until that time. So he's wanting to gradually do this, and from what I understood from him, it was actually his intention when it came before us the first time for it to come in two phases. That's the miscommunication between him and his
Yes,
St. John.
he didn't
And
mention
he
that.
was actually surprised when it was approved as one whole thing. He said, well, that's supposed to be 2 units. So and I knew this was coming. He just wanted to clean it up.
Yes, and just information.
Thomas did the same thing. They started off with the lower grades, and then each year, as the kids got older,
Yes.
added on the same thing, and then.
The vesting of site plan applications, the state has changed it to 3 years. The, ours is a little bit, it's less, but it depends because you can also request for approval. So, at some point we'll amend our zoning ordinance, sorry.
Are there any offsite improvements at Bethany or Madison because of the school, or no, is everything stopped right there at the edge of the road? As far as road improvements or anything because of the traffic study?
Yeah, so this is from their, from the traffic impact study. So these are all the improvements that are required. It has to do with, changing the signal here. But as far as improvements along Bethany, there was nothing to, or actually, let's see. Yeah, this one, actually, there is a 2-lane cross section. entering into there, but nothing on, specifically on Bethany.
And that gets built as part of phase one?
That's correct. Yes, yes. All these are all part of phase one. There's no changes.
And they had sidewalks out there, right? Like they were building sidewalks from Bethany into the,
Yes, there's sidewalk on this side, on
Yeah.
one side.
I kinda remember that.
School, and that's all part
because
of
they were
the
trying to
phase
take
one.
that out on the first one and we made this.
Well, they tried to take it out in phase two. So,
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the site plan amendment.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee.
Yes.
Commissioner LaVoy.
yes.
Site plan amendment for Bedford County Juvenile Justice Center, Arch Chapel Road on North Creek Drive, tax map 50, parcel 38.10. Bedford County owner Huddleston Steel requesting approval from the planning commission, amending a previously approved site plan by amending the original building design and adding warehouse storage. 32.5 acre parcel is currently zoned C2 general business and classified as a North Gateway corridor character area in the comprehensive plan.
So this application, this was during the time period as the previous approval, there was only one building, but because of cost constraints, they reduced the size of the Justice Center and added a second building, which is the surplus center. The total square footage actually decreased from what was previously approved. So staff there are some comments that need to be addressed with staff themselves, technical requirements. But as far as obtaining all the permits, I think there was something that was received today or last night, I guess. There was some other type of approval that was received that was necessary. But as far as any of the staff items, they can work directly with Will Buck and Brian Yick. So as you can see on the left here, this was the original approval. This was the size of the Justice Center. And the amendment, you have the surplus, the warehouse surplus, and then you have a smaller footprint for the Justice Center. As far as parking, as you can see that some of the parking has been eliminated. In our zoning ordinance, you can have remote parking, which is 400 feet, which is plenty of parking over there. And I doubt if anybody's in Justice Center will be parking except for employees, maybe. So this is the new total. It's 9,300 square feet. The original one was a little bit over 11,000.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Landers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Major subdivision, Doris Smith Estate, creation of single-family lots requiring extension of public facilities, tax map 69, parcel 71. Charles K. and Doris A. Smith, owner Northcutt Surveying Incorporated, representing or requesting approval of the creation of two single-family lots from a parent lot totaling 2.3 acres, zone R2, medium density residential, and classified as mixed density residential character area in the comprehensive plan.
Okay, in this case, what happened with this particular project was that it started out as administrative level, but then it turns out that the fire protection line is further back and it needs to be extended 500 feet in order to serve the two new lots here. And so here is the original, go back to, that's where the original, or that's where the house is. And these are 2 lots being created, and staff is requesting that this item be deferred for 30 days to allow the owners to obtain pricing for extension of that fire protection line.
Okay. Any other questions? Discussion?
Guess we'll rehear it again. Motion.
Take a motion.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Defer for 30 days.
30 days per owner's request.
That should be staff,
Oh,
actually
is that
staff.
staff?
Yeah, this is something that we've approached the applicant, Northcutt, about, that would be the best pathway. Now, they might decide that to withdraw the application altogether, depending on what the cost is for that extension, because there's a lot of rock in that area.
Okay.
Clearing that up.
So the motion, you got a motion to defer for 30 days, is that?
Yes. Yes.
We need a motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded, roll call.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit.
Yes.
Commissioner Gill,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
All right, since we moved Jay into administrative approvals pending, we'll let you take those away.
Okay, so under administrative approvals, first item is 850 Union Street. We have, there was a drive that was, or they're wanting to actually add a drive, the front section of it, and then there was a small addition. So this is the drive aisle. This is private, it's connecting a parking lot. This item is the addition, and so that was under the 5,000 square foot. Usually, actually, I do 2,000 square feet, but since this was just a flat surface and then a smaller feature, this was administrative approval. Do you want me to just continue on?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. We have a couple of construction plans, Stonewall Run, which is just off of Green Lane, Green Court. They're under review with Willow on that. And then the Entertainment District. I don't know if you want to speak about it or you want me to speak about it.
I thought you were doing that in October. Am I
I
wrong?
say October, I put it on the, but I mean, I could leave it off until we have a little bit more information, but I guess, to front it, what we're working on is this area that you see fronting on Grindstone Cowboys here, Glass Hollow, this area that reaches out to the back. This is the Spring Street, and that's also the Riverview District, or proposed Riverview District. And so we're working on potentially, I don't know if it's going to be an overlay. I don't know if it's necessary to be an overlay right now, but we're working on Entertainment District to allow this to be pedestrian access only, so converting it over from vehicle to pedestrian, and then allowing for tables, chairs along there so people can eat at whatever restaurant they'd like. And then eventually, I don't know if you know or are familiar with it, this is going to be the overlook entrance area for the greenway. And this is just information.
I guess this is needed to classify the area just so that you can just shut down the road and make it a pedestrian.
That's what you would be doing, just the planning commission would be, you're not dealing with the open container and the entertainment. portion of it. We have to bring, if they're gonna change the use of the street from a full open public street to where we would limit access, it's not an abandonment of the street. The city would keep that, they're not gonna give it to the landowners on either side. But it's just to restrict the use so that it would be pedestrian. There'd be limited use for some deliveries, Obviously, if we needed to get emergency vehicles through there, we would.
Would they put some type of like green
Bollard.
barriers?
Ball
Yep.
bollards or something.
Yeah, the ball,
Removable bollards, jinx.
yeah, the bollards would be up here and then,
Right about there,
someone back there.
Yeah.
on the roof.
Were those removable for
Yes.
deliveries come, they could remove them? Is that?
Probably won't have to do much on deliveries on a weekly basis, no, but something large may need to. The main thing is so that our police and fire can get back.
Yes.
Fire particularly.
So is
If
it
needs
looking to be limited all the time or just
Yes.
when we're doing certain events?
Well, I think that was the original idea. I mean, this idea for the entertainment district has been floated for years. Just something council's thought about as council, particularly when the courthouse was moving. Let's go back that far. Council started talking about what can we do in terms of economic support on our square, so it doesn't die, and development. And so this is, and it, I mean, one time, way far back, it was actually a different part of this square, off on a different street, that this kind of idea was floated around. So I think the general thought has been, is that it would be all the time. As I mean, the council kind of knows it's probably going to be a year that we're talking and discussing and planning this out. So it could be that we start off, it's only on the weekends.
Right.
Who knows?
And then move up from there. That's a great area to do.
I think we're
an
gaining
arts
more
district
than
that
we-
would tie in with the fly arts, a walkable arts
Yes.
district.
Well, that road
open
wasn't really
pavilion
used a
kind
lot.
of-
I mean, when it was used, you had to look in the mirror to make sure no one was coming
Sure.
across the line.
I think it's
Yeah.
probably going to be permanent on the, I'll say this, I'm sure my public works director wants that permanent because of what we're putting down.
I'd say, yeah.
It's gonna be
I would
nice, and
love
so they
that.
probably don't want anybody up
I
and
think
down that
that would
street
be
at all.
amazing. And like he said, it's been a blind spot anyways. It's kind of like a really
No,
dangerous area to try to get in
Only
and
if
out of
it's
there.
kind of the
anyway.
back way if you go to
I'm one of
First
the few people that
Baptist.
probably use
Yeah.
it all the time.
You're missing it. We're
I'll
sorry.
miss it out, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is. It's kind of dangerous. You can't.
That's a great discussion.
Yes, and I don't know if you're familiar too, is that they're working on a grant for, music venues, for the next 3 years.
If you haven't voted, vote. There's some flyers
Yes, there's,
downtown.
yes, you have to
There's
vote.
some flyers downtown on the thing that where the.
You scan the
you
QR
can scan
code.
the QR code to vote for, they're trying to get a grant to get us, live music. And like music on the square kind of thing, but not, like, they're trying to find a private parcel to have the music on, but they're in the works of getting a grant to get that for Shelbyville. Shelbyville has to make the cut first to get that grant.
Yes.
And if you haven't voted for Shelbyville to get that grant, if you need the QR code, just let me know. I'll go scan it for everybody and send it out in an email. But it would be good for Shelbyville to get that grant.
Yes.
All right, you got the Butcher Street.
Yes, 133 Baker Street, it's a one lot subdivision, yeah, okay, it's not gonna show up. But there's an existing church on there and, the house that went along with the church, both of them are going to be demolished hey, look at that, for Habitat for Humanity. Yep, so you can see those be demolished, split in half, and, 2 Habitat houses on the property.
Okay. Is that it?
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one more question about entertainment district?
Sure.
Since that would be creating a new district, you will have to have a table of what you would allow in it.
No, we're not creating a new zoning district. It's not a zoning district. We're just calling it the Riverview District. But it has nothing to do, that's not gonna be changed in your
Is
zoning.
it an overlay?
Well,
When we're talking about the open container, has nothing to do with zoning.
Yeah.
That's not use.
Right.
That would be what we're calling an overlay district that we would put out, but it has nothing to do with the use.
yeah, so the
What
over,
you're thinking about is zoning
yes,
use.
and we've already had discussions on overlay, and it might be unnecessary, because typically overlays will have design standards in there, things like that, and for such a small area,
It's better just to kind of
we,
create.
we might not need it.
Is it mostly public-owned property back there or private-owned property? Like, I know the fly's there and then the Riverwalk's all city-owned and
Yes.
then it's the back
It's
house
the two front, almost, two different business owners on the,
on the
corner of the
corners,
square.
but that's on the square. So anything
Right.
behind that's already
is primarily.
primarily city property, so we wouldn't need
Yeah,
development issues. 'cause it's all city.
Shelbyville Power owns the, lower section of it, but yes, this is all city owned.
Right, so, yes, that, I can see how that would be confusing. It's not a zoning district.
All right,
And that is it.
that's all. We'll stand adjourned.
That's all.